Hi, I'm Sean,
Hi, and I'm Shannon.
and we're the hosts of Wifey and Baby Mama. We're happy to have you all back with us again and welcome you and all of our new listeners to this week's episode titled My Baby Mama is My Best Friend. On tonight's episode, we're going to discuss what life and relationships look like when when you're best friends with your baby mama and outside of a relationship with a new partner. Of course, if there's no one new in the picture, I don't see it being an issue at all if you're keeping it right there. And I say that because friends are just that, friends. As long as you keep boundaries and you're not muddying the waters, jumping in and out of bed, I see absolutely no issue with keeping your relationship as thick as thieves.
hmm Yeah. And you have to be, honest with yourself. So, some folks say, "Oh no, I'm good, I'm good," yeah, or I'm over that, or nothing could ever happen. And then on one, you know, night alone, things jump off. So you have to really be honest with yourself as well as with that other person. For example, if you know you still have a slight little inkling of something, I think it's hard or difficult to maintain a friendship because whether you admit it or not, you're going to be, um, having an influence on if he's trying to date, or you're going to hold yourself back from, other
That's right.
successful
Mhm.
relationships.
Mhm. That's
So
right.
just be honest. Yeah.
And yeah, and that's why I said, even if it's not a new partner, if you guys are jumping in and out of bed, then emotionally it will for sure have effects on you,
Mhm.
anyone new they're dating, and any children involved. That's definitely, you two will be cool today. Then someone doesn't answer the phone on
Yeah.
Friday, and now you're either arguing or not talking. So you don't want to visit the child because you and the mom had it out, or mom doesn't want to answer your calls because you went out on a date with another girl. That's no good. So for those type of
Right.
reasons, even if you're not involved with anyone else, it's still important to stay focused on a healthy non-sexual relationship if that's really your homie.
You're right. If that's really your homie. And when you just mentioned the kids, also if when kids have their mom and dad in their lives, of course they naturally want them to be together. um,
Right.
when my parents got divorced, I was 3, but it impacted me.
Right.
So if they're seeing you going back and forth in a revolving door, you and the father, like, wait a minute, are you together or you're not? And it's like I said a couple of weeks ago about a different topic, you're re-traumatizing the kids over and over and over.
That's
So,
right. And
yeah.
I gotta say it, you're gonna have those people who think, oh no, it's just sex. It's no feelings. That's all. I'm gonna
Oh,
call
yeah.
BS on that. I'm gonna call BS.
Yeah.
If you have sex, it creates soul ties. You can think you're the biggest player in the world, but if you are continuously having sex with the same person for years, that other person or yourself is going to catch feelings. Even if you think
Yeah.
you think you're the coldest with it. Most heartless, you could be the most heartless person on earth. Someone is going to stay attached. And the thing about that is, Shannon, in this situation, you may not even know it because this is taking place in another realm. It's soul
Right.
ties.
Right. hmm
And if you're not in touch with your spiritual self, you're just creating all kinds of confusion and you won't even realize it. So that's why it's so
Right.
vital to stay away from any sexual encounters when it comes to this matters.
hmm
If you want to
Yeah.
remain friends, but keep the sex out of it.
Right. Yeah.
And
And then
don't miss me.
remaining.
Oh, go ahead,
Oh
honey.
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no. Okay. No, I'm saying don't miss me. It is possible. You can absolutely have a best friend relationship with your baby mama and not have sex. It can be done. I think I say that so confidently because I have such an excellent relationship with my other daughter's father. And hell would absolutely freeze over before it was any
hmm
kind of sexual
hmm
contact again. And I don't mean that in a negative way, whatsoever.
Right.
We
Right.
are
Right.
literally cooler than a fan. My sureness
Yeah.
comes from the fact that I'm so
Yeah.
in love with my husband I can't see straight. I see straight. I
Well,
think it's like a condition, almost. But
yeah.
my friends and family tease me to no end about that all the time.
Right.
I'm only
Right.
kidding about it being a condition though. But I'm just saying, I'm just blessed enough to have found what I believe was meant to be by the saying, there's someone for everyone.
Yeah.
He's my someone. So there's
Right.
no question if I'm out with my daughter's other daughter's father that, we may drink too much and it's no,
Mm,
because I'm for
right,
sure in who I
right.
am in my marriage,
Mhm.
he's my
Yeah.
man. But I've also had times, that, I've told you guys, it took us a minute to get here. So
Mm,
finding this good place in a marriage or relationship does not come overnight. There's a lot of crying
right.
and praying going on. Hell, there's still a lot of crying
Mhm.
to this day, as a matter of fact,
Yeah, yeah.
because marriages and relationships are
Yeah.
work. But that's the you know
Work.
that's the importance of me sharing that to say, even though we were apart for almost 17 years, Shannon, I told you guys all that to
Yeah,
say
yeah.
we never stopped being friends, right? Because that's what we had first. And I think
Mm,
that's a very vital part of lasting relationships. Not
mm,
sex,
right.
not looks,
Right.
but healthy
Right.
communication and laughter. You know, the laughter
Yeah.
part may seem silly, but it's good for the soul. And if
Mhm.
a person can't reach that
Mhm.
kid in you, Shannon, then you're probably not
Mhm.
they're not connecting with all of you.
That's the truth. Absolute truth. And saying that, Buddy and I, we're cool. We
Right.
are, we have the love of family, but he's never been my friend or best friend or, um, so the sides of him that I would never
Right.
know. And of
Exactly.
course don't need to.
Hmm.
So
But I get your
that
point.
that helps. Yeah, it
You don't
helps
see
when you
it
can.
help you also realize
Mhm.
this ain't my person because he's not connecting to all
Right,
of me. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
exactly,
This can't be my
absolutely.
person. And
Mhm,
it's gravely important for us to pick up on those
mhm.
things. We talk about the 80-20 rule. Like we're gonna have no one's gonna have everything. And I
Yep,
told you, you show me two perfect people, I'll show you two lying people. That doesn't happen.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that's some things are vital to have, and a friendship is one of them, Shannon. If your relationship is gonna last,
mhm, yep,
you know.
it is
But now,
absolutely necessary.
yeah.
And I know some folks are listening to us, the two of us saying, "Who are you two to talk? You didn't think about that before before you had these babies." Well, that's why we're here. Hopefully
That's
we
it.
can help, you know, right
Someone else before they
somebody.
have some babies. Yeah, they let them know what's
Mhm.
required to make this thing last so we don't get to the place. So you guys don't get to the places we were figuring it out. But
Yeah.
I'm going to give you, because I'm just the flip side of the coin type of girl, because it's just never one side to any story, right? So
Right.
I'm going to also show you how great it was that my husband and I are friends and we remained friends. And so here we wound back up in this marriage because we were each other's
Mhm.
person. But let me
Mhm.
tell you how
Right.
that was dangerous in other relationships. Continuing to be his friend affected my other relationships because I was always in love with him. I couldn't hide it. I tried. I even married someone
Yeah.
else, hoping
Yeah.
to force that love part out of my heart. Because for so many
Mhm.
reasons, I thought we were just not good together when it came to
Yeah.
relationships, right? But
Yeah.
yet, staying connected to him in any capacity ultimately ruined every relationship I had, even though we were 1,000 miles apart. Because no man or
Mhm.
woman wants to be with someone when they know their heart is somewhere else.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Now, unlike me and my hangups with my hubby first time, who is not my hubby again, there are people who have strictly baby mama, baby daddy relationships, and there's no sex or
Mm.
desire to be intimate. My
Right.
brother, for
Right.
instance, his baby mama, his first child's mother, he had when he was like a teenager, out there just being a teenager. And like I said, we come from a broken home, no guidance. So I think he had
Mhm.
his daughter at 14, 15. My mother was busy watching all the girls, honey, and the boy popped up with the baby boom. But anyways, she had the eyes on the wrong one. But seriously, so he had a young, and because she was a young girl, and so she became a part of our family, right? She's our sister, and this is our niece. But then now, later along the road, he meets another girl. They were together for years. They get married, and their last daughter, his first baby mama, is their last daughter's godmother because they're all just cool like that. And I think it's
Oh,
dope.
wow.
And
Yeah,
it kind of
yeah.
reminds me of you and me. The
Mhm.
first baby mama was long gone out the picture. She was around. She was sis. That was Niecy.
Mhm.
But my brother and the girl had no farther dealings. She was literally just our niece's mom,
Yeah.
and she became our sister.
Yeah.
So now they were so cool that the new wife she became the godmother to their new baby. And I think
Mhm.
that's a clear example of when no lines are being crossed, when it's just strictly business.
Right.
You can
Right. That
continue
is
to grow healthy
wonderful.
blended families. Yes, it's wonderful. Another friend of
Mhm.
mine is in Atlanta, Alabama. I'm sorry. He worked with me for years. He's like my brother now, but he was my sergeant at the prison for years. He and his ex-wife are best of friends. You know, their kids are good and grown, girl.
Mm.
Okay, so they don't have no
Mhm.
babies to take to daycare. Their kids are like grown, graduated college. You know, but they
Yeah.
were actually
Uh-huh.
divorced before the big moments. But they attended all the graduations, their son's wedding. He's married now, and any other family events, even like after their divorce. In fact, they live behind each other still. You know, he
Yeah.
gets her
Oh,
car like
wow.
every other weekend. Yeah, and details it. She brings him food when she cooks. He brings her food when he grills. He's the grill master, like for real. I mean, like
Uh-huh.
they both date whoever and whenever they want. For years, you know, I tease him like, "Why don't you just get back
Yeah.
with her?" But they'll both quickly tell you, "No, we don't work as husband and wife." And I just respect
Right.
that so much. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And
And
hopefully well, I'm not hopefully, it sounds like the people that they do date are comfortable with their
yeah,
friendship because you're going to have those that won't be. They're
hmm
gonna not understand it. They're gonna look at you sideways like, oh, wait a minute, what y'all have going on? Like I remember, I think I mentioned this before, like with my husband, when I told him, that me and Buddy were, we're cool, we're cordial, we are more than cordial.
right.
He didn't understand it, um, because he had never seen it. He had never witnessed any relationship like that,
Like once it's
where
done, it's done.
once it's done, it's done. Yeah. And so there might be people that you have to kind of get them on board, or if there are some boundaries, that might be being a little bit crossed or making your new partner a little bit uncomfortable, you
You need to
know,
adjust that. You need to
talk about
adjust
it.
it.
Mhm.
Adjust
Right.
it because you're gonna
Right.
always want to respect your new person because you guys are exes for a reason.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you need to
Right.
always respect a new person, and even if it
Hmm.
doesn't work out, and you go back and be like, hey, you know that wasn't the guy for me, or that wasn't the girl for me.
Yeah,
You don't want to let your ex relationship be the determining factor in your new situation. You know.
that's
So
right.
I mean, even in this topic, Shannon, it fits you and I in a different capacity. You know, in our case, we are
Yeah.
baby mamas. When we were
Hmm.
baby mamas, you know, we were like best friends. I'm Buddy's wife now,
Hmm.
but at one point,
Hmm.
we both carried the title of baby mama,
Baby
you
mama,
know,
that's
and
true,
our
right?
running joke, you know, when we called each other, saw each other, was, hey, baby mama, which is
Yeah.
hence how the show name was decided, you know. It just so
Right.
happened by the time it came in your spirit to start the
Yep.
podcast, I was wifey again, you know, but it
Right.
wasn't like I was always wifey, you know. But we have such
Right.
a
Right.
chill vibe. I mean, I can drop by your crib if I'm in
Mhm.
town, vice versa.
Mhm.
Even
Mhm.
my husband, you know, when we're in Charlotte, be like, "You want to go
Absolutely.
hang out with Shannon?" I mean, he
Yeah.
has no hang-ups with us communicating outside of him even
Right.
being involved because everyone,
Right.
including your husband, is clear
Mm.
about our situation, and that's what makes the difference.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
You
And I
know,
love it.
I love it as well. So I
Mhm.
think the biggest problem, you know, I'm wrapping this up, is I can foresee with your baby mama being your best friend, is that someone still has feelings that they can't let go of, or they continue to sneak around
Mhm.
sexually and things get messy. But if your baby
Mhm.
mama is your best friend and you're single, I think that's perfectly fine. And even when there are you seeing another person, if there are other people involved on either side, the baby mama, baby daddy, as long as the boundaries are laid, Shannon, like we just said, and everyone's
Right.
on the same page, I think you being
Yep.
best guys being best friend is golden. It's golden to me because I
Right.
think
It
anything
is.
that can make the child live in a better situation and
Mhm.
positivity, you know, it's always a win.
Mhm. It
It's always a
is.
win.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, with that point, I'm going to move into my written segment for tonight.
Hey.
All right. This week's red line is titled Keep Your Ships Straight. Keep your ships straight. People, don't allow any friendship, to strain your relationship. When it
Mhm.
comes to baby mamas and baby daddies being best friends, the most
Mhm.
important thing is to keep the lines clear. If you have a partner, you can't allow your friendship to override what your partner's opinions or feelings are. I mean, it's okay to have connections with your child's mom. In fact, I recommend it. Being without someone, without someone new, uh, it can sometimes weigh on the amount of responsibility you end up having between the baby mama,
Mhm.
and your new person.
Right.
But don't allow your child's mother though. If you have to put your boundaries in, don't allow your child's mother to put guilt trips on you or make any demands, especially if it's
Yeah.
disrespectful to your new someone. For instance,
Right.
your baby mama has no business telling the new girl whenever there's an event, something important with the child, oh, you can't show up. I mean, now, child, now we're
Mhm.
gonna have misunderstanding, okay?
Right.
Some things it's to be expected, that the biological parents take precedence. For instance, a
Mhm.
surgery is taking place, only two people come in. That by all means should be the mom and dad. If a graduation is
Yeah.
taking place and we only got two tickets, I think by all means that should be the biological parents, like no doubt, hands down.
Oh yeah. For sure.
But and even that requires some, grown. It requires you being grown. But just because mom and dad are best friends does not mean mom continues to have an opinion of dad's personal dealings.
Mhm.
So be best friends if you can handle it, but never allow that to interfere with your relationship. So I'm going to remind you one more time, people, when it comes to this, keep your ship straight. Friendships and relationships both
Yep,
have their courses, they both have their boundaries.
they
And
do.
that's my red line topic for tonight.
All right. Love it. Love it. All right. So now, our final segment. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we get to our final segment, got to remind everyone, please submit a red line submission to
Yes.
our mailbox at wifey and babymama at gmail.com for a chance to win your $100 gift card if your red line is chosen to be read on the third Thursday of each month. So, the third Thursday of every single month, we will have a winner that will receive a $100 gift card. So, we
So make
welcome
sure
your
to get your
submission.
submissions in. Yes, we get some interesting ones too. So please keep
Yeah.
sending them. I love reading them.
Yes, please, please. Thank you so much.
I love reading them and
All
weighing in with my 2 cents.
All right. So now we're wrapping up. We're at our final segment. The fictional family I'm feeling. And the fictional family I'm feeling this week comes from the sitcom All of Us, which starred Dwayne Martin, Elise Neal, and Lisa Ray. And Lisa Ray and Dwayne, their names were Robert and Nisi. They were married um, and had a son, and then got divorced, and but remained really, really close. And he got engaged to Elise Neal. Um, but in this particular episode, he's out with his best friend, and his best friend's on a date, and for whatever reason, his ex-wife, Nisi, goes with him on this date instead of his fiance. So they're sitting there having dinner, and the interaction between Nisi and Robert is so cool. The therapist asks, "Oh, so how long have you two been married?" And
Mm,
they said, "Oh, we're not married. Oh, no, no, we're divorced." They started making all these faces and stuff like now they're disgusted with each other. Um, and yet they keep talking. They go back to talking, and the therapist is, just watching them. And she said, "Hmm." And they look at her and they're like, "Huh, what?" What are you doing? We're not in a therapy session. And she says, if I didn't know any better, I think you are still in love. She said,
mm.
no, I really do. I think you're both still in love with each other. And they said, of course, no way, no way. And it goes to another scene. So my point with that, all of that is, if you even when you are best friends, there's things when when you were in a relationship, when that was your husband, you were husband and wife, you just do certain things for each other or whatever that I don't think you should do once you're in a new
Absolutely.
relationship. So, for example, part of the story too, when Robert and Nisi sat down at the table and she was trying to figure out what to order, and she said something. He was like, "Oh, no, 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 you don't like that. You know you don't like that. That'll make you feel this way, whatever." It's like, nah, let her, you know, there's certain
Right.
things that if his fiance was there, which she
It would have
wasn't
offended
there,
her. I'm sure it
Hmm.
offended her.
Exactly. Exactly. So,
If
when
it was
I,
a Go ahead, I'm sorry.
mhm.
Thought you were done.
No, when
Go
I
ahead,
thought,
baby.
no, yeah, when I thought about that episode, when I thought about what we were doing tonight, the episode we were doing tonight, and then that one, I'm like, oh wow, that is really aligned to our subject matter tonight.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to
Mhm.
say. And I'm sorry, I thought you were done. I didn't mean to jump in. But you know, this
That's
mouth be
okay.
waiting to run. But but that's absolutely
Fine.
the whole basis of this episode tonight. If
Hmm.
someone, a total stranger or friend, or even if it's just a friend of one of you guys, picked up on that, I think that's behaving way inappropriately. You know what I mean? It's no way that
Hmm.
someone should be like, well, how long have you been married? That means that you're way too comfortable. And then guess what, though? If you have been married 5, 10, 20 years, maybe you do know the person like the back of your hand. But once you're
Oh
in a
yeah.
new relationship, because didn't you say he was engaged to someone new?
Yep. He
Well,
is
it's
or
time. Yeah,
was.
it's time. It was. It's time to back up off of
Hmm.
that a little bit. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You can't continue to carry on as if you're in the marriage when you're totally with someone else. So, I mean, that's a prime example of you got to know when to draw the line or how to behave appropriately. Because I don't know if you was my fiance, if you'd have been at dinner with your baby mama, anyways. But that, that's a whole nother story. But how that go down? But then, but then compared to I said about my ex sergeant at the prison and his wife, like they do a lot for each other, like cook dinner, detail cars. But I'm sure if he
Hmm.
had a new partner who said, "I don't like you washing your ex-wife's car every
Right.
weekend,"
Right.
like let her
Right.
what the lady said, get somebody else to do it. If that was the case, I'm sure he would stop. But I think because we're from
Hmm.
such a small town, everyone understands that they're really like just cool like that. But I'm sure
Okay.
if that was a thing to be crossed, that at that point someone would have to address it. Because
Oh
if
yeah.
my friend would say, "Well, no, I've been washing her car for 25 years, I'm gonna keep washing it," to me, that would be putting your ex over
Hmm.
your current,
Hmm.
right or wrong. I
Right.
mean, I'm not
Right.
saying that you can't meet somewhere in the middle of the road, but I think anytime that you blatantly say, "Oh no, I've been doing this for so long," and something there that needs to be addressed. And
Yeah. Yeah.
in your fictional family, I think it's something there that needs to be addressed. That's just my opinion.
Yep. I agree. All right. So that is the fictional family I'm feeling this week.
Awesome.
Um, so we want to thank you once again, as Sean did at the top of the show. We want to thank you again for listening. We welcome you every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. if you want to listen at that time or anytime. Whereas we are on all platforms, you can download episodes and listen to us at any time. Anytime you have
Anytime.
25 to 30 minutes to kill. So we appreciate you all and we look forward to next week. Bye.
Until then, love you all. Bye bye.
I'm waiting.